Destination reached, Temple of Heaven. Temple of Heaven Park is one of Beijing's historic treasures. It's where Chinese emperors would pray for bountiful harvests. It's easy to spend several hours here.
I'm all done seeing the Temple of Heaven, and what's nice about taking a cab is you get in, you go, and you're done. Now I'm off to see Sanli Twin. Sanli Twin, please. Ni hao. The number one piece of advice when speaking to a cab driver in China, use simple English. And secondly, speak slowly.
Communication is the key to a successful taxi ride in Beijing. Drivers really try to meet you halfway, and they hope to be ready for new visitors during the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
在此之前很长时间，我们很多司机就已经开始学习英语了。我想2008年的时候应该 OK。
When you don't have time to walk or the energy to figure out the public transportation system, Beijing taxis are your best bet. Buses and subways help ease the chaos on Beijing's streets. Still, if you granted a Beijinger 3 wishes, chances are one would be, make Beijing's gridlock traffic disappear.
When they say Beijing's on the move, they're not talking about the traffic. With over 2 million cars, 63,000 taxis, buses that make U-turns on city streets, and vans that drive and park on the sidewalk, it can take an hour and a half to go 10 miles.
As China's economy continues to boom, so does its traffic problem. One student from Norway, who's been living in Beijing for 6 months, gave us this advice.
I think no matter what you do, you should never ever take a taxi at 5 o'clock in the afternoon because you will be stuck in traffic forever.
A decade ago, most Chinese could not imagine owning their own car. Nowadays, with incomes on the rise, more and more Beijingers can afford them. So they're shifting gears from 2 wheels to 4. China is now the world's second biggest and fastest growing vehicle market. Over 1,000 new cars and 500 used cars are sold daily in Beijing. And foreign luxury cars are increasingly visible on the streets. To many, a car is more than a means of transportation. It's a symbol of freedom and status. But there's a price for progress. That's why the government fights an ongoing battle to protect the environment and to keep the traffic flow flowing. To ease congestion in time for the 2008 Games, the Beijing Organizing Committee for the Olympic Games put together the Transport, Construction and Traffic Management Plan. The plan promises to add 200 miles of road in Beijing, including 35 miles of urban expressway. The urban expressway system is the backbone of Beijing's roadway transportation. It consists of 5 major ring roads circling the city and a network of highways connecting them. Just as you would count the rings of a tree trunk to figure out the age of the tree, Beijing's growth can be determined by the number of its ring roads. And the bullseye? Tiananmen Square in the Forbidden City. The most recently completed loop is about 9 to 12 miles from the city center. The construction plan's additional expressway miles will make it easier for people to enter the city. But that also means more cars piling into an already congested central district, turning it into a virtual parking lot during rush hour. Actual parking lots, on the other hand, are one of the missing features of Beijing. Many buildings, especially older ones, were designed without cars in mind. In fact, the city is short 1 million parking spaces by international standards. Now, parking lots are a must for new developments, like this one. The shift to car culture also means more shopping malls and large grocery stores. Mega stores, once unthinkable in Beijing, are becoming ordinary. The city is also building free or low-cost commuter parking lots. That way, drivers can park near the 4th or 5th rings and take public transportation to the city center. Come game time, the improved infrastructure will help ease traffic. But the Beijing Olympics Committee isn't counting on this alone. They promised to reduce the traffic flow in the city by 25% during the Games. That will mean 1 million fewer cars on the road. Beijing's plan to reduce traffic was tested in August 2007, prohibiting cars with certain license plates from driving altogether. License plates ending in odd and even numbers alternated days. That resulted in 1.3 million fewer cars a day entering the city. Similar traffic restrictions will be in place during the 2008 Summer Olympics. And following in the footsteps of previous hosts, Sydney and Atlanta, they'll ban local citizens from driving private cars to Olympic venues.
If the highway were this jammed, you'd never be on time for the opening ceremonies. Problem solved. Just like other host cities, Beijing will dedicate an entire lane to Olympic-only traffic.
A special traffic management center is dedicating 130 miles as Olympic traffic-only lanes. That way, the athletes and officials can be sure to get to the events on time. But once the Olympics move on and these express lanes return to the masses, Beijing's residents are hoping some of the improvements will be long-lasting.